children of darkness and of light. You know who I am. Your favorite member of the Lord Kuzenko, the Harbinger of Chaos, Lord of Darkness, yada yada yada. This game is owned by chunsoft, Ananias America, and let's step right back into it. Alright. By the time y'all watching this, I won't be home. So let's get going.
And at any point while you
were you doing there?
Did you ever see me come into the dining hall?
You don't think so?
No, he definitely wasn't there.
The knife disappeared while Hina was in the dining hall. But I wasn't there the entire time. In other words, there's no way I could have taken the knife.
Okay, then what about this? What if the idiot swimmer girl and Makoto are in on it together and lying to protect each other? Idiot swimmer girl?
Bitch.
Oh, and more importantly, why would I get involved in something like that?
Speaking of which, I'd like to ask the bear, if there is an accomplice, do they also become blackened?
So you ask, and so
I shall answer.
Each murder is allowed to have an accomplice, but only the one who does the killing will get to graduate.
So in other words, two people can work together, but one of them has no chance of profiting from it.
Then there's no way anyone would work together, right?
But what if they did work together and they just didn't know about the rule?
Good grief! Enough already! No, okay? There are no accomplices in this case. Oops. Did I say that out loud?
Anyway, I didn't go to the dining hall, and I didn't take the knife, so I'm not the killer.
Okay, so then, who did take the knife?
Hina seems the obvious candidate. After all, she just said she was in the dining hall.
Got a point there.
No way!
Sure, but can you or I can?
That's right. Sakura was with me the entire time I was drinking my tea.
I hate to have to ask, but...
Me.
Right. But then, couldn't either one of them?
Actually, no.
Just spit it out already.
I stayed in Hina's room last night.
I got so scared thanks to those creepy videos. I wasn't really thinking, which means we have airtime. You stayed over? Doesn't that violate one of the school regulations? We're not allowed to sleep anywhere but the dorms. But it doesn't say we have to stay in our assigned room, so I don't think that's a problem.
It is a problem! A boy and a girl spending the night together? It's unwholesome!
Don't tell him. Don't tell him. Just... Don't tell him.
But I'm a girl.
You are? Oh my god, I'm so sorry!
I think his butt cheeks just collapsed together. I think I heard air being sucked in.
But if it wasn't either of you, then what other possibility is there?
Actually, there is one other.
Oh, yeah, that's true. One other...
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, because they're not here. Sayaka.
I got it! Then, Sayaka is the one who took the knife?
That's the only possibility. And thinking back on it, she was when she came into the dining hall. She didn't. As she left, she said she just wanted a drink of water. But most likely,
The person who took the knife was the victim.
I'm sure she just took it for self-defense.
So you're saying the knife she took was then taken from her, and she was killed with it? In that case, you may not have taken the knife, but you still could have killed her.
What?
See? He did do it after all.
No, you're wrong.
so that's how you would twist the argument and send us all off in the wrong direction?
Hold on. It's still too early to decide conclusively that Makoto is the killer, wouldn't you say? Because you see, if the room did belong to the killer, then they did something most bewildering. And until we unravel that little mystery, you simply can't declare that he's the killer.
Bewildering? What the hell are you talking about?
The door.
Something was missing from the scene of the crime that by all rights should have been there. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Now I understand. That's right. There wasn't a single hair on the floor.
So, the culprit removed some evidence?
Yes. And if I were the culprit, why would I need to get rid of all the hair in my own room? It wouldn't be unusual at all to find my hair at the crime scene if the crime scene is in my room.
The reason all the hair was gone was to remove any trace. That makes sense, does it not?
Yeah,
If that were the case, they would have had to do something about
very.
Yes, very.
Okay, then why wasn't there any hair on the ground?
The killer got rid of it all, of course. Precisely. It's simply beyond reason to believe that the room's owner and the killer are one and the same.
Then Makoto isn't the culprit?
Are you sure we can decide something so important based solely on the absence of some hair?
No. There are other reasons that prove why Makoto couldn't have done it.
I would like to hear these reasons.
Do you remember anything remarkable about the bathroom at the scene? Sayaka was attacked in the main room first, then fled into the bathroom.
Yeah, then they ran after her, got into the bathroom, and stabbed her.
And how did the killer get into the bathroom? Did they have any trouble with it?
What do you mean?
It's fairly certain that the killer had some trouble getting into the bathroom. There was clear evidence left behind. Do you
I got it! Evidence that the killer had trouble getting into the bathroom. You're talking about the doorknob, right?
The doorknob.
The doorknob for my bathroom. See how the top part was unscrewed?
Oh yeah, true.
In trying to bypass the lock, they ended up nearly removing. This is another most bewildering act for the room's owner.
So what? You're saying he wouldn't break the door in his... But if the only choice you have is to break it, you break it. There's nothing bewildering about it.
You still don't see? Let's take another look at how the incident unfolded. The incident took place in Makoto's room. Sayaka was first attacked in the main room.
Shoot!
The incident took place in Makoto's room.
Wow.
Sayaka was first attacked in the main room. She then fled into the bathroom.
Then the killer ran after her. And they got into the bathroom.
At that point, the killer had to try and bust down the door. Because Sayaka had locked it.
No, that's wrong.
I think I'm doing alright.
The reason my bathroom didn't open wasn't because it was locked. After all,
Oh,
the girls'
this
rooms
room
are the only ones with locks.
locked.
Yes, now that you mention it, that is true.
Then why didn't your bathroom door open?
Because it was stuck.
What are you talking?
My bathroom door doesn't fit in the frame quite right. Monokuma over there can testify to that.
Yup, true as true can be. But you know, you're supposed to be the ultimate lucky student, right? But to have such a cruddy door.
Fuck you, Bear.
So the reason
Fuck
the
you,
door
Bear.
didn't open was just because it was stuck. But the killer didn't know that and assumed it was locked. So they tore apart the doorknob to get in.
Okay, but then why would the killer even think the door was locked everyone should have known you can't lock any of the boys' bathrooms.
The killer could easily make that mistake, thanks to one important...
I got it! The killer must not have realized that it was my room.
What? Are you saying the culprit didn't even know where he was?
And yet, he's...
Say what?
Well, to be more specific, what the killer didn't know was that Makoto and Sayaka had switched rooms, which is what led to the misunderstanding about the bathroom.
Then there would have been a lock on the door, and they would have had to break through.
So they had no idea how unnecessary their actions were.
Ultimately, we can't know if it came open by force or simply by accident. But the killer must have been considerably confused, with no idea how they actually got the door opened.
Regardless, it was a pointless act. Wasting time trying to break down a door that wasn't locked is...
Definitely something I wouldn't do, since I would have known exactly why it wasn't opening, right?
That is a definite possibility.
So the killer was actually someone who didn't know they'd switched rooms? Then Makoto
Yeah.
couldn't have done it.
And I just saved my own ass.
Okay, then who did do it?
I'm sorry, but I give up. Quit without saving.
But what happens if we can't decide on who we...
Well, why don't we just vote right now? Majority rules.
Majority rules? You really think that's a...
Yeah, our necks are on the line here.
Does no one have any other thoughts or...
Oh! As a matter of fact, I do have one... Oh. You don't gotta sound so disappointed.
It's fine, it's fine. Just
Oh yeah. Well, I was just wondering, how...
Yes.
Maybe Sayaka just dropped the key somewhere.
I don't think so.
Then... maybe someone picked the lock?
Negative. If you remember, Monokuma made it quite clear that the lock...
Fine. How about this? The killer, they could have knocked and said they wanted to talk or something.
No.
Oh! Trying to arc... Hello? Why?
gun? Because Sayaka was already scared, remember? Knowing what she'd been through.
What if her being scared?
Huh? What the hell is that supposed to mean?
I know you don't want to consider it, but look at this and tell me. Can you still deny the possibility? I found a notepad during my search, and these are the words that appeared.
Oh man! I've totally seen people do that on detective shows. When you write, it can leave an imprint. When I saw that, I was like, holy crap! I better make sure I rip the paper out before I use it from now.
It's a pretty old-fashioned technique, but even the classics can be surprisingly useful sometimes.
She's way too smart.
Oh, and I should also mention, I found the notepad on the desk in Makoto's room.
So who do y'all think did it?
Huh? Which means only someone who had been in Makoto's room before the incident could have written it.
Then either it was Makoto who lived there, or Sayaka who switched rooms for a single night.
So, Makoto,
No,
of course you didn't. Because the note also bears a perfectly legible signature. Sayaka's.
but why?
The note was likely her way of getting in touch with a certain... She must have slid it under their door to let them know she wanted to meet with them in secret.
If you got an invitation like that from the ultimate pop sensation, what?
Of course, I'm only into 2D, so it wouldn't have any effect on me.
But can we be sure anyone even got this note? And honestly, even if they did, I do not think they are at all involved in what happened.
Huh? What
Would you like to hear what I have to say? Very well then. Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if someone did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It certainly would seem that way.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
Yeah,
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in
it's the
note,
third one.
The place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that Makoto was staying in. So in other words, even if
God
someone
dang it.
did read the note and did what it said, they would not have any connection to what happened.
It
That should have
certainly
hit.
would seem that way.
Sayaka and Makoto switched rooms, correct? But in the note, the place they were asked to come to, it specifically says, my room.
I see. So if someone read that note, then they would have gone to Sayaka's room.
Exactly. The room that...
No, that's wrong.
Finally.
The nameplates on Mai and Sayaka's rooms got
They got switched?
That's right. The nameplates got switched. As a result, the nameplate on Sayaka's room actually had Makoto's name. And the nameplate on Makoto's room had Sayaka's.
So what you're saying is, the room Sayaka...
Then, if someone did do what the note said, they would end up at Makoto's room.
Well,
where Sayaka
I'm gonna
was.
call it here. This is gonna be a 3-part trial, so will we find out who the person was in the next video? Tune in next time to find out. My children of darkness, stay safe, stay happy, and do not give in to despair. Until next time, bye bye for now.